this is like a showcase. We try to show South Africa what fighting games are about.
Coming into esports, you'd see the certain things fragmented everywhere, and you want to sort of put it together and try sort of create a system for them.
It's going to start off with passionate guys that are keen to hunt sponsors, get people to get behind your team.
Something a lot of these team games kind of don't really encapsulate is that true one-on-one duel feeling that you get from a fighting game.
I would like to see is obviously more opportunities for South Africa fighting game scene, which it seems to already be happening.
My goal is to show people that you can do this. It's not that hard.
I want to let the world know what this here will let me is to.
We're not doing it for money. that's a joke. We get nothing. This is a question I hear a lot. Yo, bro, I want to start hosting tournaments so I can make money. I'm like, bro, you're gonna be broke.
At UGC, the goal is simple. Get bigger, get better, do better, be the best.
Messing with.
Get on your knees. Came from the jungle, up in the trees. I got a few tricks up in the sleeve. One wrong move, I'ma let out the.
Go inside, please, and close the door. Yes.
What's this sad face?
So she has a chart, and she has these dolls that she loves called LOL dolls. So if she gets 10 smiley faces, she gets new dolls. But she's got like 4 or 5 sad faces already, so.
And only 2 smileys.
Yes. She's in the negatives, bro. Anyway, yeah. They're not going to allow for this amount to be. Oh, hey, can you hear me? Anik-san, also known as Bravado Iggy.
We've been married for 8 years. We probably know each other just over 10 years. Wherever we've worked together, people are always so shocked that we somehow function.
I
actually want those posters framed, not just plastered on a wall like a sticker.
I work for Expedient Medical. We basically act as the middleman between patients, the doctors, and medical aid. Did you ask me to look at it? That's my day job. I also, as you know, play Tekken professionally for Bravado Gaming. I started playing Tekken 3 when I was, 8, 9 years old with my 4 brothers. So it was a lot of rivalries between me and my brothers, friends in the road. Where I really got my competitive edge, I would say, outside of playing with my brothers, was going to game shops. And I started with King of Fighters, and I used to just stand in line with my 150 cents and try and stay on as long as possible.
So he used to do like these sessions every Friday night, and they would set up all their different consoles.
That's where the competitive edge started. And then round about in 2017, I think, Tekken 7 comes out. And I start playing online, and I meet Richard, Angry Magician, and he introduces me to the larger scene. And that's when I realized, okay, there's actually a competitive scene here. There are tournaments and things.
So this is actually a big deal. This is not just, a bunch of nerds in a basement somewhere.
The community of esports have shown me, okay, there is an interest. So Bravado signs me. I start running these weeklies, I also have enough of an ego to believe that I'm a full package.
Man, season of his 32 years old.
I'm Jason's mom. Very proud mom. We've lived here all our lives. When we found out he was deaf, he was only 6 months old. Because we had infection in his bladder. He wasn't born like this. Children used to make fun of him. And he was very aggressive. I had my hands full. They didn't treat him right, you see, because he couldn't talk properly. And I had to be strong. I was only 20 years old when I had him. First child, they tell me my child is deaf. It's like something hit you in the face. But they always say, God has a plan. They say God has a plan for everything that happens in your life. I'm gonna cry now. But he cooled down a lot. And through his games, through his rap, all the children in the road, you know, they have respect for him now.
Yes, eu sou träffar and what is in three photos too. I first played with Rio I wrote a pattern where to attack, where to defend.
We used to play like back in the day, obviously growing up, we used to play a lot Tekken and that stuff when we had a console. And so he obviously decided to take it further. I actually had to learn how to speak with him, learn how to communicate with him and understand the whole process. So.
I love playing him, so yeah, great. I started to evolve myself in front of him.
Staying out, staying safe. AMJ takes it.
Send Jazcat.
No round brown.
That was a really good match.
Oh, there we go.
This is what Tekken's about.
This is what Tekken's about.
It's all about love, yo.
My name is Ol van der Riede, or van der Riede, because I am Afrikaans. By trade, I go by Mr. Chocolates, web developer by day, esports caster by night.
Whoa, we in. Whoa. Welcome to Wednesday Fight Nights. This isn't Tekken. How do I get here?
I don't think there's been like a more up and coming underdog like Jason. First time I met Jason, Jazcat, we were having the sneaker exchange event, and I remember we were refereeing. I think like someone jumped on casting with one of our old casters, Malcolm, and I had to help referee. And there's this homie just chilling, and he knows it's his turn to play, and he immediately gives me his phone. I went, well, you know, what is this? And look at the phone, and the message is on there. He's like, "Hi, my name's Jason, or Jazcat X. I am deaf, so don't take it personally if I can't hear you." And I think also he said something about like I'm blind in one eye, but like don't underestimate me.
I went to my first tournament, which was a random select 2, I believe, at UWC, and it was my first ever tournament, and I placed 4th. And that kind of like underlined for me that, you know, there's something here. I didn't have fundamentals, I didn't know what flames were, but I managed to place. So from there, the rest, I guess, is history, because I've just been competing ever since.
But on the complete other end of the spectrum, we got Iggy, right? He's kind of like the big man. My man's been coming on for years now, right? Playing for I think before Tekken 7, obviously, he's made it that far. The man's been a titan that could not be stopped. And then, like, you see his methodical gameplay, right? The scary way that he's able to just magically adapt to what you're doing. Brew, you meet him in person, he is the sweetest guy, right? He is such a ball of love.
My name is Junayd Bradlow. I am the co-founder of UGC. So I am the stream technician on site. I make sure that everything looks good online. Being a TO, there's like a nice analogy to understand is like it's pretty much a snake. I've been watching a lot of Harry Potter lately, so like this is the shit. So pretty much it's a snake. So the head of the snake is your TO. And then while you're moving down the snake, the important parts that I'll come through is like you need to have your community manager, is a person that's going to be managing players as well as brackets and making sure that everything runs smoothly. And part of that the community manager will be like the refs. They'll be reffing throughout the event. Then we'll have, below that, we'll have the commentators that are just going to be there, set up with the stream technician, which is myself, and pretty much commentate on the matches that will be happening throughout the event. We started UGC through kind of a strange route. We had quite a bad experience at a tournament, and we realized that FGC players are never treated with respect. So pretty much our goal after that tournament was to create a place to show how amazing fighting games can be within SA.
And it's not hard. These players are talented. South Africa's allowed the fighting game genre to fly under the radar for quite some time now. And it kind of became our goal to not only bring it to the forefront, but possibly make it the biggest esport in South Africa and eventually Africa. I mean, that's what we're pushing anyway.
Something a lot of these team games kind of don't really encapsulate is that true one-on-one duel, like not mechanic feeling that you get from a fighting game, right? You don't get that from team games. With fighting games, you got big games like GG making a comeback with Strive just from last year. I mean, Happy Chaos and Baiken got released, so everyone is like super excited for that. Tekken's been kind of streamlining ever since it came out. Season 4 dropped like what, almost 2 years ago now? So everyone's just kind of still riding the wave, and that's what makes it interesting, because the moment your fingers touch a controller and you're able to do things, that's when, you know, the mind starts thinking. And that's what makes it interesting, because the cogs start turning, lights go on, and that's when you kind of like get into the experience. Right now, it's quite an untapped scene. We've made it, if I don't want to toot our own horn, but toot toot, we made it kind of big right now. We've had big contracts coming in from homies. We've been working with Logitech and Red Bull, and we've made it quite big because we know who can bring the hype, both on voice and while playing, and it's definitely something anyone can get into, and it can be anybody's game.
So Iggy's the kind of player that he is the dad of BSR, so he has been putting in the work in general on how to beat his opponents, etc. But he is a hard worker, and I feel like he has something to prove this time.
My best placings have been in most UGC tournaments where I've won. I think I've won 2 or 3 offlines. Spring Showdown, DNLE. Rush 2019, I think, is personally my biggest achievement. I went to a different province and I won the whole damn thing. I'm still very proud of that one.
What people don't know about Iggy is that Iggy is like one of the most kind-hearted people within the FGC in Cape Town. He's got like this gift where he wants to just look out for people. Like you might have heard it in his previous tournaments, like all these interviews that he does. He picks kids up off the side of the road, and instead of them going into like gang stuff, he'll teach them Tekken, and then all these guys that he picks up, they've become like top tier players.
He's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of passion for this game, and that in itself is almost more than what most players have.
In Jason's future, he's just been going up, as I can see. Sometimes he's busy the whole day. He forgets to eat. Then I must just remind him, you must take a break. I say his back is paining or his knees are paining. I say, go, you sit the whole day. But anyway, and for his future, he has big plans for his future. And me and his father can only be there. We will be there to support him.
I'm allowed to inspire other safe families to involve in fighting games. A few of them are influencing by Shadow Ave. So, at the competition tournament for Israel, I'm allowed to let the world know what a deaf game like me is to. I'm allowed to have a deaf tournament. Matter of so I'm able to
playing against other players from all over the area can definitely make you a better player. That's why we need more tournament organizers. If we can get more tournaments up, like every weekend, every couple of weeks, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, then you can build up to something big.
We're not doing it for money. That's a joke. We get nothing. This is a question I hear a lot. Yo, bro, I want to start hosting tournaments so I can make money. I'm like, bro, you're gonna be broke. Broke gang. It's all about comfort, bro. Like, we're very happy with what we're doing, and like, obviously, if we don't earn money at the end of the day, it's whatever. Did you have a good time playing in our tournament? Oh yeah, that's all I needed.
We've invested a lot of money and time into the scene, and that's okay. I mean, we want to see it grow to the potential that it has, and yes, there's a lot of work to be done, both on production, content level, and even the players. But I mean, if anyone can do it, I think this community can.
Self-awareness is so important. You need to know how much work you need to do. If you are so egotistical that you cannot see the amount of the volume of work that you still need to do, because I'm a pro player, but I know if I go to EVO, I might drown in pools. So I'm self-aware enough to know that I've got a lot of work to do, and I think the scene as a whole are not self-aware. They don't really know that they need to put the work in. They need to sit in practice mode. They need to share their content, share their ideas, and I think that's what's holding us back.
It's great that there's a platform that recognizes gaming as an actual sport.
Honestly, I'm very proud of him. Like I wasn't expecting this to be such a blow up so big and everything. So I just wanna wish him all the best. Very proud of him, and he must win something. This.
I'm proud of people. Met a very strong for a tournament and overseas. So that's one of my main focus. I want to wonderful man.
Leading up to a tournament, it's not like you just post a Discord message, there's a tournament happening this Saturday, come through. We've done months of marketing.
Callum wasn't one of the players that was consistently coming first, but he was a player that showed a lot of promise.
A lot more brands are starting to really get involved supporting these teams.
You got to have a knack for it if you really want to make it to the top.
The 8 players that we selected are 8 players that have competed in every single one of our tournaments this year and have placed extremely high.
There was an immense list of people to choose from.
Out of this whole list, I don't know who can win. I don't know who will win this tournament.
Nothing will stop us against all the